They say every small town has a secret, but this one? It's a secret so dark, the locals don't dare speak its name. What would you do if you found a place where people vanish without a trace, never to be seen again? Imagine walking through a forest where the trees seem too tall, the air feels too heavy, and every step you take feels like you're being watched. That's what happened to Ava when she wandered into Black Hollow, a place no map dares to mark. What she thought would be a simple hike turned into a nightmare she'd never wake up from. This is a story of shadows, whispers, and a secret so terrifying, it's been buried for centuries. Ava wasn't superstitious. She was a city girl through and through, always chasing her next adventure. So when she heard about Black Hollow, an abandoned forest with stories of people disappearing, she was intrigued, not scared. Her friends warned her against going, saying things like, "That place is cursed," or, "You won't make it out." But Ava shrugged it off. Curses don't exist, she thought. On a cloudy Saturday morning, Ava packed her gear, a flashlight, snacks, and a fully charged phone, and set out to explore the infamous Black Hollow. The entrance wasn't hard to find. A rusty sign barely clung to its post, the words, "No entry," faded but still visible. She stepped past the sign and into the forest, feeling an odd chill in the air. The deeper she went, the quieter it became. No birds, no rustling leaves, just an eerie silence that wrapped around her like a second skin. At first, the hike was uneventful. The trail was overgrown, the ground damp and uneven. But then Ava noticed something strange, the trees. They were unnaturally tall, their twisted branches reaching high into the gray sky, blocking out most of the light. As she walked, she began to feel uneasy. It wasn't just the silence, it was the feeling that she wasn't alone. Every so often, she'd catch movement out of the corner of her eye, a shadow darting behind a tree, a flicker of something just beyond her line of sight. But when she stopped to look, there was nothing there. After an hour, Ava stumbled upon a clearing. In the center stood an old well, its stone edges cracked and covered in moss. She approached it cautiously, peering into the darkness. It was deep, so deep, she couldn't see the bottom. Then, she heard it. A whisper. Faint but unmistakable. "Help me." Ava froze. The voice was coming from the well. She leaned closer, her heart racing. "Hello." She called out. The whisper came again, louder this time. "Help me. I'm trapped." Ava's first instinct was to grab her phone and shine its flashlight down the well. But as soon as the light hit the darkness, the whisper stopped. Suddenly, she felt a hand on her shoulder. She spun around, but no one was there. The forest seemed darker now, the trees closing in, their branches stretching toward her like claws. Terrified, Ava decided it was time to leave. She retraced her steps, or at least she thought she did. But the trail she came in on was gone, replaced by more dense, endless trees. She started to panic, her breaths coming quicker. The whispers returned, not from the well this time, but from all around her. "You shouldn't have come. You can't leave. Stay with us." Ava broke into a run, her flashlight flickering as the whispers grew louder. She tripped over a root and fell hard, her knees scraping against the ground. As she scrambled to her feet, she saw something that made her blood run cold. A figure stood in the distance. Tall, shadowy, with glowing eyes that seemed to pierce through the darkness. It didn't move, but she could feel its gaze, heavy and unrelenting. Ava ran in the opposite direction, her legs screaming in protest. She didn't know where she was going, she just knew she had to get away. But no matter how far she ran, the whispers followed, growing louder, more desperate. Finally, she burst into another clearing. But this time, it wasn't empty. There were people. Or at least, they looked like people. They stood motionless, their heads bowed, their faces hidden under hoods. In the center of the circle was the well. And standing beside it was the figure from before. Ava's scream echoed through the forest, but no one was there to hear it. Days later, hikers found her backpack near the forest entrance, her phone still inside with a single video. In it, Ava's voice trembled as she whispered, "Don't come here. Don't listen to the whispers. Black Hollow remains a mystery. Locals say the forest takes what it wants and never gives it back." And Ava? She's just another name on the list of people who dared to enter and never returned. Want to hear what happened to others who dared to enter places like this? Subscribe now or check out the next story.